When I was 20, I told anyone who would listen that I was going to be a writer. Not just a hobbyist, not, maybe someday, but a real writer with books on shelves, book tours, interviews, the whole thing. I had notebooks filled with half-finished novels, poems scribbled on napkins, short stories tucked into folders. People told me I had talent. Professors said I had potential. But potential is a slippery thing. If you don't grab it with both hands, it slips away quietly until you wake up one day and realize it's gone. At 22, I got a job to pay the bills. Office assistant at a company that sold industrial supplies. I told myself it was temporary, that I'd write at night, weekends, early mornings. But the job drained me. By the time I got home, I was too tired to do more than eat and collapse. At 25, I got promoted. The money was better, and with it came expectations, longer hours, more responsibility. I told myself it was good, more stability meant more freedom later. I kept saying, later, like it was a magical land where time was infinite and I'd finally do what I loved. At 28, I got married. My wife was practical, grounded. She supported my dream in theory, but she also liked the security my job provided. "You'll write someday," she'd say. "But right now, we need to think about building a life." And she was right. Mortgage, bills, groceries. Someday became a mantra. At 32, our first child was born. At 35, the second. Life became a blur of diapers, late nights, daycare costs, endless work. My notebooks gathered dust in boxes under the bed. Occasionally, I'd take one out, read the half-finished stories, and feel both proud and ashamed. Proud that I once dreamed so vividly. Ashamed that I'd abandoned it. Years rolled on. Promotions came and went. I made enough money to keep us comfortable but not enough to feel free. I watched colleagues climb faster, buy bigger houses, newer cars. I told myself it didn't matter because someday, I'd still write that book. Except someday never came. Now I'm 48. The kids are teenagers. My wife and I barely talk except about logistics. Who's picking up groceries? Who's driving the kids? The job I took, temporarily, is now a career I never wanted. The notebooks are still under the bed, their pages yellowed, words faded. The regret hits me in waves. Sometimes in the middle of a meeting, while I'm nodding along to some pointless corporate jargon, I'll think, this isn't what I was supposed to be doing with my life. Other times, late at night, I'll stare at the ceiling and imagine the books I never wrote, the stories that died in my head. The cruelest part is knowing it wasn't anyone else's fault. My wife didn't stop me. My kids didn't stop me. My boss didn't stop me. I stopped me. I chose comfort over risk, stability over passion. And now the years I thought I had are gone. I tell myself it's not too late. That people publish books in their 50s, 60s, even 70s. But the truth is, my fire feels dim. When I sit down to write now, the words don't come the way they used to. My mind is cluttered with spreadsheets, deadlines, bills. The dream feels like something I once saw in a movie rather than something that belonged to me. Sometimes I wonder who I would have been if I'd chosen differently. If at 22, I'd taken a risk instead of a paycheck. Would I have struggled? Starved? Maybe. But at least I would have tried. At least I wouldn't be sitting here at 48, haunted by a ghost version of myself who lived the life I wanted. I envy that ghost. He's not real, but he feels more alive than I do. People tell me I should be grateful. That I have a family, a steady job, a roof over my head. And I am grateful. Truly. But gratitude doesn't erase regret. The two coexist, like oil and water sloshing around in the same container. I can love my kids deeply and still mourn the writer I never became. The saddest part? My daughter once told me she wanted to be an artist. I caught myself saying, "That's nice, but you need something practical too." The words tasted bitter the moment they left my mouth. I had become the very voice that silenced me all those years ago. I wanted to take them back, to tell her to chase it with everything she had. But the damage was done. Unfulfilled dreams don't just die with you. They echo into the people around you. If there's a lesson in this, it's not inspirational. It's not. Follow your dreams no matter what. Life is complicated. Bills are real. Kids need food. But the lesson, I think, is this: someday is a lie. If you want something, you can't keep waiting for later. Later becomes never faster than you think. I still write sometimes. A few paragraphs here and there. Nothing I'd show anyone. It feels like visiting an old friend who doesn't quite recognize you anymore. Familiar but distant. I don't know if I'll ever publish a book. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. But I know this: I'll go to my grave carrying the weight of the stories I never told. And that weight is heavier than I ever imagined.